Week 16, we're going over quarterbacks here. Now, I know we're going into the playoffs now. We need these wins. We need to make sure we advance in the playoffs, and I'm here to help you make sure you do that. Let's go ahead and throw up our rankings right over there. We're talking about number 10 right now at JoeFlaco going against that Houston Texans defense that ranks 21st against opposing quarterbacks. What can we say about JoeFlaco? Flacco has been absolutely phenomenal so far that he's played in the season for the Browns. I mean, everybody's kind of like Deshaun Watson, who? JoeFlaco's moving the ball up and down the field. He did a game-winning drive last week, and he's proven that he can still be a good proven quarterback in this league. He's putting up quite solid numbers. I mean, we're talking about 20 plus fantasy points for your team now going against a Houston team probably going to be without CJ Stroud. There's already without Nico Collins and Tank Dell. They're missing a lot of firepower over there, and I think Joe Flacco is going to be able to sit back and be able to pick apart this Houston Texans defense. I love Joe Flacco this week. I think he's going to get involved. He's been doing very good with David Njoku. I think Amari Cooper's going to have a nice game. They've got enough weapons over there to be a productive quarterback for your team. And hey, you never know, you might need a quarterback at this point. You've done picked up Joe Flacco. Now you're ready to start him. Don't feel obligated to start him, but if you have to, don't regret starting this guy. He could be a solid fantasy lineup. He's probably not gonna get you a large ceiling type of game, but he has a high enough floor to where it's not gonna lose you the week. If anything, it's gonna help you win the league. So I do like Joe Flacco at number 10. Moving right along here to number 9, we're talking about Baker Mayfield taking on that Jacksonville Jaguars defense that ranks 29th against opposing quarterbacks. I like what Baker Mayfield's doing. He has a lot of the up and down type of games. You're not really sure what he's gonna, get out of, but what he did last week, come on, that's absolutely phenomenal. Now against another worse pass defense in the Jacksonville Jaguars. I love his opportunities this week. I think he's gonna be chunking the ball down the field to Mike Evans. Just from probably the get-go, from quarter number 1 all the way throughout this game, I think Baker Mayfield is a phenomenal play, especially if you're in the playoffs and you're needing a quarterback to really get you through to the next round. I think Baker Mayfield could help you do that. If you're struggling for a quarterback, don't have one of these top guys, I think Baker Mayfield is a solid enough player to set into your lineup and help you get the win. Move right along here at number 8, we're talking about Tua Tagovailoa taking on the Dallas Cowboys defense that ranks 13th against opposing quarterbacks. Now, Dallas overall, I really don't like playing people against. They have a solid defense. They have a solid front seven. Even though they got some injuries in the secondary, I think overall it's a tough defense to go against. But we're talking about Tua here, and he's probably going to have Tyreek Hill back again this week, which definitely bodes well for him. You already know you could throw the ball down the field to Tyreek Hill. You're probably getting some type of points out of it. It is what it is. And don't forget about Waddle on the other side. They have enough firepower here to challenge Dallas, even though the secondary is beat up a little bit than they were early on in the season. I do like Tua here. If you have him, you're going to play him. You're not benching Tua this week just because they're going against the Dallas Cowboys defense. I think he's solid enough to play. Get Tua in your lineup. Let's talk about number 7 here, going over Brock Purdy taking on that Baltimore Ravens defense that ranks first against opposing quarterbacks. Yeah, they're going against the Baltimore Ravens defense, but think about this offense. Whether it's Christian McCaffrey out of the backfield, you got Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel, you got George Kittle. There's a lot of weapons out here for Brock Purdy to be successful. I really like what Brock Purdy does, and even though he's going against this Baltimore Ravens defense, if you have Brock Purdy, you're still starting this guy. You're not benching him. Feel confident if you have Brock Purdy. I like him here at number 7 for me. Going over at number 6 here, let's talk about Justin Fields taking on the Arizona Cardinals defense that ranks 28th against opposing quarterbacks. I like Justin Fields. This week I think it's pretty good. Guys, if you've been on this channel, I am not a Justin Fields lover whatsoever. I didn't like him coming out of college. I don't like him for most of the season, but when he has a good matchup, I have to put him in the rankings based on his matchup and what I think he can do. And I do think this week against the Arizona Cardinals, he has the opportunity to put up some solid numbers, and I think he does do that. I think DJ Moore has a nice game as well. Justin Fields should definitely be in your lineup. He should get plenty of rushing yards against this Arizona Cardinals defense. So easily at number 6 for me. Let's talk about number 5 now. We're talking about Lamar Jackson taking on the San Francisco 49ers defense that ranks 2nd against opposing quarterbacks. Now, yes, they are very, very tough, but I like Lamar Jackson because of the way he runs the ball. Not many people can stop Lamar Jackson. I mean, he is very slippery in the backfield. They have a heavy pass rush in San Francisco, but Lamar Jackson is going to be able to juke and jive and get open quite a bit, which gives you a safe floor in fantasy football. So I do like Lamar Jackson this week against San Francisco. I'm not crazy about the pick, but again, you're not sitting Lamar Jackson if you had him. You got to roll the dice. You went this far with this guy. Put Lamar Jackson in your lineup and just hope for the best. Go over my top 4 here. Number 4, we're going over Dak Prescott taking on that Miami Dolphins defense that ranks 17th among against opposing quarterbacks. Now, Dak Prescott, this is probably a difficult matchup for Dak Prescott, I'm not going to lie. They've been struggling as of late, and the Miami Dolphins have a stud of a defense. Now with Jalen Ramsey back in the fold, Miami is solid. They have been scoring a lot of fantasy points as far as the defensive side, so it's going to be hard to move the ball up and down the field. But if Miami is able to put up points against this Dallas Cowboys defense, look for Dak Prescott to have to shoulder the load and throw the ball all over the field. I think he's going to have a very solid day. We should see Dak Prescott definitely clear over 300 yards passing, in my opinion. I like Dak Prescott this week. Let's move over here to number 3 here, talking about Patrick Mahomes going against that Raiders defense that ranks 15th against opposing quarterbacks. What can we say about Patrick Mahomes? He is Patrick Mahomes, but this season we all know they've just not been the Chiefs that we all know of. It's not this high-power type of offense. They've actually been struggling as of late to the Chiefs. You know, what we're used to seeing from the Chiefs, right? So Patrick Mahomes still good enough. He's not number 1 for me this week, but I did put him at number 3 because I think he's good enough that you've got to keep him in your top 3, top 4, just because it's Patrick Mahomes and he can always throw up some beasts of a game. And going against the Raiders defense, I just like Patrick Mahomes. Going over number 2 real quick, we're talking about Jalen Herz going against that New York Giants defense ranked 16th against opposing quarterbacks. Jalen Herz, even last week, he had the flu-like symptoms, and he still put out a solid fantasy performance for us. I think even against now another division opponent here in the Giants, I think Herz should be even better. He should be a lot more recovered than what he was before, and I think we see Jalen Herz again put a solid fantasy game. I like Jalen Herz. He gets a lot of rushing yards, which again gives him that high safe floor. I like Jalen Herz this week. Get him in your lineup. That's awesome. Number 1, no question here. It's going to be Josh Allen taking on that putrid Chargers defense, ranks 30th against opposing quarterbacks. I love Josh Allen. Again, he's another quarterback that gets you a safe floor with his rushing ability, and he's going to be able to chunk in the ball all over the field because the Chargers defense is absolutely just garbaggio. So I love Josh Allen this week. If you have him, you're glad you do. He's going to help you advance in the playoffs. I can't wait to it. I can't wait to see what he can do. So again, I like Josh Allen. Definitely get him in your lineup. There's no other analysis really needed for this guy, but that definitely does it for the top 10 quarterbacks I have for week 16. So as always, thank you for watching the video, guys. Hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate it. We're really close to 700 subscribers. We're growing this channel, and I want you guys to make sure you are starting the best lineups possible. And then we do all offseason. We have no breaks on this channel. We are 12 months a year to help prepare you not only for your fantasy drafts, but all throughout the season. Hopefully, all of you guys can hoist up a trophy. Hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below, and hit that like button. We'll see you guys next time.